October 9th, 2025. A date that will be remembered as the day the world woke to a new kind of war. Not with bombs or tanks, not with missiles or soldiers marching across borders. No. This war is silent, invisible, yet it controls every corner of our lives, from the smartphone in your pocket to the computer on your desk, from the electric car you dream of buying to the most sophisticated weapons that modern armies deploy. This is a war of influence, of control, of resources. And at its heart lies a single, powerful actor: China, the world's factory. A nation that produces nearly everything we touch, everything we rely on, suddenly decided to turn off a tap, not of oil, not of water, but something far more precious, something rarer, something that no ordinary market could replace overnight: rare earth metals. With one decision, Beijing declared that technology itself would obey its laws. Hours later, in Washington, D.C., U.S. President Donald Trump took to his favorite platform, Truss. His message was clear. This was no ordinary tweet, no casual warning. It was a declaration of retaliation, a 100% increase in tariffs on all Chinese imports. Overnight, the fragile truce between two of the largest economies in the world collapsed. Global financial markets spiraled downward. Investors everywhere held their breath. The question on everyone's mind: what exactly was happening? China had decided to strangle global supply chains, and it had the means to do it. These rare metals, often misunderstood or dismissed by the general public, are in fact the backbone of modern technology. They are not rare in the geological sense. They exist in many places around the world. The challenge lies in extraction, concentration, and processing. These processes are extremely difficult, extremely expensive, and devastatingly polluting. For decades, China quietly mastered this complex industry, establishing near-total dominance. Today, more than 90% of processed rare earth metals come from Chinese factories. Out of every 10 kilograms used globally, 9 originate in China. What makes them so important? They are critical for almost everything in modern technology: smartphones, electric vehicles, renewable energy systems, fiber optic networks, medical imaging equipment, and military hardware. They are the lifeblood of artificial intelligence processors, making semiconductors efficient and preventing them from overheating. Top-of-the-line warplanes, even the F-35, need materials like neodymium, dysprosium, and samarium. All come solely from China. Imagine a world where one factory in Wuxi, China, effectively controls the production of these materials. It is not just a factory. It is the gatekeeper of the global technological future. Artificial intelligence, renewable energy, telecommunications, advanced medicine, and national defense, all dependent on its output. China's move on October 9th was not impulsive. It was decades in the making. Beijing has meticulously tracked global supply chains, monitored shipments, and recorded who uses which metals and for what purposes. It has built a comprehensive database, effectively mapping the technological vulnerabilities of the entire world. And now, it introduced a series of sweeping regulations to take effect from December 1st, 2025. Any export of rare metals requires an official license. Transfer of knowledge, equipment, or technology abroad is forbidden. Factories are inspected, and key personnel are prevented from leaving the country. Nothing leaves China without its explicit consent. These regulations even apply to products containing as little as 0.1% of Chinese rare metals. A German microchip with a tiny neodymium magnet is now subject to Chinese law. A Japanese electric car engine partially made of these metals is restricted. With this, China has extended its control over nearly every modern electronic device in the world. Experts call this an economic weapon of unparalleled sophistication. The United States reacted with speed and severity. Trump's administration imposed additional tariffs on Chinese imports, targeted sensitive software exports, and threatened the cancellation of high-level meetings with Chinese leadership. The markets reacted violently. The Dow Jones dropped 900 points in a single day. The S&P 500 recorded its largest one-day decline of the year. Trade negotiations stalled. Diplomacy became secondary. America's goal was to hit China economically, to force a retreat, but China's long-term strategy was built for exactly this moment. China's strength lies not only in its supply of rare metals, but also in its patience, its market, and its allies. Unlike the West, China is willing to absorb short-term pain to achieve long-term strategic goals. Even during previous trade disputes, when tariffs reached 145%, China endured. Its domestic market of 1.4 billion people provides consumption power unmatched anywhere else, and economically dependent partners in Asia, Africa, and Latin America give it alternative trade routes if Western markets close. To grasp the magnitude of what's at stake, remember, artificial intelligence is the relentless powerhouse driving the economy of the 21st century. Semiconductors, servers, and advanced communication equipment all require rare earth metals. A disruption in supply can slow AI development, halt production of electric vehicles, and compromise renewable energy projects. Even medical technology, MRA machines, advanced imaging, and laboratory equipment relies on these materials. The implications are global. This is not just a trade war. This is a war over the very architecture of modern life. Companies like Apple, Nvidia, Qualcomm, and countless others are caught in this conflict. Their supply chains, profits, and technological development are directly impacted. And yet, the strategic game is more subtle. China can wield influence without firing a shot, using control of essential resources as leverage against global competitors. The ramifications extend beyond economics. Analysts predict a potential bifurcation of the world into two technological spheres, one led by the United States and its allies, the other by China. This division affects trade, political alliances, and the global balance of power for decades. Nations will be forced to choose sides or navigate a delicate path between these two competing systems. Artificial intelligence, rare earth metals, and advanced manufacturing become tools of strategic influence. Global economies may face structural divisions, reshaping international relations. Prices of consumer electronics, electric vehicles, and AI-driven technologies will rise. Supply chains will remain fragile. Nations that fail to secure alternative sources or alliances will face technological dependency, reduced competitiveness, and economic vulnerability. In short, this is not a distant possibility. It is happening now, and its effects will touch every individual on the planet. China's advantages are clear: monopoly over rare earth metals, strategic patience, a massive internal market, and international economic partners. America's strengths lie in technological superiority, access to alternative rare metal sources, and its alliances with other major economies. The question is, which strategy will dominate in the long term? China can endure short-term pain for long-term gains, while the US is attempting to force immediate concessions. The next few years will reveal which approach proves more effective. The West is responding. Investments in local mining operations in Australia, Canada, and within the US aim to reduce dependence on China. Technology companies are redesigning supply chains to ensure resilience, but these efforts take years. And in the meantime, China retains control over the critical inputs of modern industry. What does this mean for ordinary people? In the short term, expect rising prices for consumer electronics, slower production of electric vehicles, and increased costs for renewable energy projects. Laptops, smartphones, televisions, and AI-powered devices may all see price spikes. In the long term, the world may settle into two separate technological ecosystems, each shaped by the policies, resources, and innovations of China and the US. 4 nations in the Middle East, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The challenge is navigating these competing spheres while protecting local economic interests. Every consumer, every business, and every government will feel the ripple effects of this silent, invisible war. October 9th, 2025, will be remembered as the day the world entered a new era of conflict. A war not of soldiers and missiles, but of metals, chips, and influence. A war that touches every person in every country, across every continent. The stakes are high. The strategies are complex, and the consequences will be felt for decades to come. And how will we, as ordinary people, navigate this new world order? This is Eli from Echoes of Power, and my question to you is, who will emerge victorious in this high-stakes battle? I will be following your answer in the comment section. If you found this illuminating, then like, share, and subscribe. Together, let's understand the echoes of power that are shaping our world.